Hi everyone! I did it again. I goofed around with some houses in House Flipper 2 and turned them into unhinged Zillow listings. And since the Scooby-Doo DLC came out while I was filming this, there of course is a house where I used a bunch of the new items. So if you believe that Death and Decay make a perfect home decor, you don't want to miss out on that one. We're starting off with a colorful house in Spokane, Washington. And what you see here from the outside is exactly what we're getting ourselves into. I'm already wondering why there are sofas and armchairs on the porch. I mean, after a few rainy days, that's gotta get pretty damp and moldy, right? As we walk in, yeah, it's a maximalist home. So if you like maximalism, you will love this house. Imagine a family gathering where you have to sit in one of these two chairs in the middle of everybody with a plushy swan on your lap. I just love the awkwardness of this. And there is a horse? Okay, so I mean, that is a choice. There is a sign that says, "Thank you, pet cat." And look at that, there it is. That is so cute. The kitchen also has quite a color palette. I still don't know where to look first. I almost miss these very cute towels that say meow you. I mean, I can't. This is just so adorable. Why is there a dress hanging on the wall? I mean, what does that have to do with anything? This is the bedroom, and I think we established by now that this is a lot, right? I can almost smell the exquisite mix of Auntie flour detergent and dust. So I guess we're having a skirt on a Dolly Parton pinball machine here. I'm gonna call this room the everything room because it has everything else in it. And it has pieces of a Charlie Brown collection in it, and I can't really be objective about Charlie Brown and the Peanuts. Because if you've ever tried to buy pajamas in Germany, they will inevitably come with a print of Snoopy or Charlie Brown on it. And I just don't get why they have to put comic prints on pajamas for grown adults. Why can't I just buy plain clothes made out of pajama fabric? It makes absolutely no sense. Let's go to House Flipper and build something, shall we? I picked Verdant Nook for the house because it is about the same size as the original. It's 2 stories though, and the original is a single-story bungalow, but I think I can make it work. Like the last time, I'm using the Zillow listings as an inspiration, but I'm not going to recreate it exactly down to every detail, because I don't have the transformation tool and I don't have the landscaping tool in story mode, so I'm a bit limited here, but I try to stay as close as possible to the original. I copied all the colors into the game with the color code and painted every room in a different color. And of course, since it's a maximalist house, I spent ages recoloring tons and tons of items until everything finally came together. So I have a whimsical home in blue and white, and the property also has like a little shed with colorful stripes. I have the indoor furniture on the porch and also some additional flowers to make everything even a little bit more cuter. There's a fully decorated living room that is full of knickknacks, and of course I didn't have a lot of items from the original in the House Flipper catalog, but I think I got pretty close to the overall vibe of the room anyway. And I didn't have a horse, of course, but what I did have was a swordfish, and that worked out perfectly, don't you think? I've got a bright kitchen with pink cabinets, green walls, and turquoise highlights. And of course I didn't forget the cats. I have some bowls ready for them. Of course, not everything is like in the original. So for example, the bedroom moved upstairs and it's full of paintings and clutter, so you can fall asleep surrounded by stuff. Next to it, there is the everything room. And in this house, I've made it a small walk-through space. So you can play the piano here, read a book, and it also connects to the bathroom. Speaking of which, every bit of space in this room is used to the max. All right, let's see how much money I can get for this. Not bad. I spent quite a lot on the renovation on all the items, so I'm really happy with the profit of $131,000. When you open the next listing, one of the first pictures you get is one that shows this Corvette. At least ChatGPT says it's a Corvette, I don't know. And whenever I see a listing with a car like this, I already know it's pure gold for videos about terrible taste. You don't believe me? Just look at it and tell me I'm wrong. So you are looking at a 5-bedroom, 6-bathroom castle in Barrington, Illinois. As you walk in, you enter a large entrance hall that's trying to look medieval but somehow also contemporary. And to the left there is the family room, from which you have a front row seat to the indoor pool. This indoor pool is decorated with stone, just like the exterior walls. And I don't know, to me these faux stone bricks look like a craft glue project straight out of Art Attack. Here we have a stylish marble bathroom with a shower probably big enough to park another Corvette in it. This is the kitchen, and the house seems to have a little bit of an identity crisis here because now we're in a completely different style. We have modern farmhouse cabinets and walls in a light gray shade. This is the adjacent living room, and say what you want, I think we're looking at a home of a lottery winner or something, because this looks like you took the aesthetic of an average suburban home and put it into a giant rich people's house. I don't even know what this particular style is called, but if you know, let me know in the comments. An office? Another bedroom? Yeah, I think these are okay. If you go upstairs, you got the master bedroom, and I don't even know what to say. The blue walls, the crown, the Chesterfield pattern, it just keeps getting worse. And what I personally find the worst, you see this window right here? Okay, let's go back outside. That is this window. I just want to remind you, we're looking at a castle with defense towers. So if enemies showed up, someone could sit in this tower and shoot arrows at them. That is what they're for. So if you build a castle with defense towers, why on earth would you put the room where you're the most vulnerable right on the front side of this building? The rest is fine though. There is a fitness room with gym equipment, a walk-in closet, another big bathroom. And I know the bathroom is tacky, but I think we've seen worse in this house. Alright, time to turn the story mode house into this beauty! The original villa is about 930 square meters, and from the story mode houses I've already unlocked, I picked the Great Charity Mansion because this is one of the bigger ones. And as I said, the initial floor plan was to use the Zillow listing only as an inspiration, but this listing came with the original floor plan. And one of the main characteristics of this villa is having ridiculously oversized rooms, so I just couldn't resist to recreate the layout with the actual in real life measurements. And I'm not gonna lie, at times I had my doubts if that was a good decision because I basically built a completely new building. When the basic structure was done, I might have kinda doubled the building size. And after that I started painting and furnishing, and again I tried to stay as close as possible to the original, so I also used the original pink. And oh right, I forgot to show you this room. So apparently there is a psychedelic space galaxy room. And after I don't know how many hours, it was finally done. I built a house that's supposed to resemble a medieval castle, but I think it looks more like a Lego castle with all those smooth and plastered walls. While I show you the rest of the house, let me tell you about the interview I found with the listing agent Rob Morrison. So apparently it was designed by a father to look like a castle for his daughter who wanted to be a princess when she was 4 years old. That was the driving force to design the home the way they did. Funny enough though, the listing agent then goes on to say they quote-unquote followed all the architecture, whatever that means. But what I take from it is that the house is an unironic attempt to build a castle. And if you look around in the neighborhood, there actually are a lot of houses that look like castles too. I mean, not the exact kind of castle, but you know, castle-ish mansions. They didn't say if the daughter liked it or not, but right before I uploaded this video, I checked and it's still available. So if you have 1.9 million to spare, it can still be yours. Alright, let's see how much the buyers and house flipper give me for it. Okay, that's not even near 1.9 million. I was a little worried that I'd end up losing money because I have used so many bricks in this build. But that's actually a solid profit. I'm gonna pick Leo Newman as a buyer, even though that gets me 1,300 money less because I have already unlocked Ramona Spurs. The last house is a 128 square meter home in Lynn Haven, Florida. From the outside, it looks like a totally average house in a totally average neighborhood. You have a nice front yard, you have a church in the background, everything is just as average as it can be. But once you step inside, you quickly realize it's not so average after all. First thing you see is an entrance area that looks a little bit like a waiting room. Did they just not know what to do with this room and then decided to put some sofas to fill the space? Or is that an actual waiting room where people are supposed to wait? Either way, that is the weird thing in this house that we need to talk about, isn't it? No, of course it's the grotto. The grotto is what we need to talk about. And I'm thinking like, you want a grotto? Fine, I'm not judging. Well, actually I am judging, I'm doing it right now. But what I find a really bad choice is to sit with your back to the entrance. Nope, would not have done that. The kitchen is pretty normal. I mean, sure, it's red and black. Definitely not what I choose for my own kitchen, but don't forget we just saw a grotto for a living room. The only creepy thing about this kitchen is how easily every little smudge shows up on black furniture. The office is almost randomly average and tasteful. Well, if you ignore the skulls on the wallpaper and the skulls on the shelf. And in the picture on the wall. Wow, this person really loves skulls. There's also a storage room with another skull collection, and the longer I look at it, the less it bothers me. Some houses are full of taxidermy, this one is full of fake skulls, as if it wants to say, so what? That's not the only collection either. In this house you can apparently rotate between skulls, Star Wars, and this is Final Fantasy? I don't recognize the rest, but maybe you know what else is being collected here. Oh man, fans are gonna kill me, please don't roast me. Okay, this room has a bed in it, so technically it is a bedroom, but I have no idea how anyone would ever sleep here. First of all, you've got these aggressively loud red stripes, and then imagine you had a long day at work, all you want to do is go to bed and relax, and then you're lying there with a couple of bony arms hanging over your head. Nope, just nope. Good thing is though, the shelf is a hidden door, and there is just one like this in the House Flipper catalog, so I'll be able to recreate this. What bothers me most about this bathroom is that the scattering of the blood is not plausible for any type of crime scene. That alone would bug me enough to clean it all off. This room is just so off, I kinda like it. And when something is obviously and completely wrong, I feel like, I don't know, it has personality. And also, I think I can't really see it because the red and the blue create kind of an optical illusion on my screen. For this house I wanted to use a property in House Flipper that I already owned, because for the Barrington castle I had bought a different house first, but then changed my mind. But of course the money was already gone. And the Peaceys Family Home was a pretty good match with 118 square meters. I didn't change much about the floor plan either. The only thing I added was a small extension on the side for the grotto. Some of the color choices were pretty wild, especially when I played at night because the screen was just blasting light at me. I was happy about the wallpaper from the Scooby-Doo DLC though, because they made a perfect substitute for the skull wallpaper in the office. I mean, look at it. I had a lot of instances where I thought, how am I gonna do masks on a wall? And then I saw, oh, there are 3 different masks in the new DLC. Or I thought, how am I gonna do axes and swords? And then I saw there are a couple of axes and swords in the new Scooby-Doo DLC. And if you're thinking, okay, putting an axe and a sword on a bed, now she's overdoing it a bit. No, that's exactly how someone decided to showcase their real estate. So what do we have? We have an average, ordinary house that looks pretty unremarkable from the outside with grey wood siding and white windows. The entrance area has 2 pink sofas and it looks like you could sit here and just wait for your doctor's appointment. And right behind the front door you've got the living room grotto as a place to hang out and watch TV. The walls are decorated with textured stone cladding for the extra Stone Age vibe. The kitchen has red walls and black cabinets, and since I don't have the dirt tool in story mode, the cabinets are very clean, so it looks very tidy. I hope the buyers in House Flipper like it. Especially the storage room is full of stuff from the Scooby-Doo DLC. It's basically a room full of DLC items. We got, for example, the grandfather clock, skulls, swords, axes, and the creeper statue. This is the office, and compared to all other rooms, it actually feels pretty, I don't know, ordinary and almost tasteful. I would actually do something like this in my own apartment. It was especially important to me to keep the colors true to the original in the blue room, and that turned out to be the right decision. It's not as cluttered though, because at some point I stopped filling it up with stuff so that I could still fit inside and record this. And of course we got the bedroom. And this room really is something else. We got the red, we got the stripes, we got the unsettling decor over the bed. Hope the House Flipper buyers like night terrors. Okay, let's see and put this up for auction. What? I spent $253,000 money on renovation? How did that happen? I barely even changed the layout. Ugh, that's unfortunate. Okay, I would have guessed I make a little bit more profit on this, but I'm still making profit, so it's all good. Have you already seen my first video of Unhinged Zillow listings? If not, you can check it out here, or you can click on the other button and subscribe to my channel.